Today, we're gonna be ranking all the anime in the spring 2023 anime season. Let's jump into it. Logo reveal. But before we do, if you enjoy the video, like, comment, maybe subscribe to the channel because most of you are not subscribed. We're trying to hit 50,000 by the end of the year, which is possible with your help. You can find the full link to all the anime I watched this season, spring 2023, in my Patreon. You'll also find some exclusives there. Now, it took me a while to actually do this video because there was one anime that had not finished, Kamikatsu, and honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, the final episode doesn't really change where I would have placed it, so I could have done this video earlier, but I like to finish everything for the season that I was watching in order to do this. Okay, so we're gonna start off with all of the stuff that I did not watch because I feel like that makes the most sense. We're just gonna move them all into the skip category here. There's a lot of things I didn't watch, to be honest with you, a lot of things. Now, some things I didn't watch because I didn't have time. Other things I didn't watch because I didn't give a fuck about them. Oh, I watched an episode of this. I'm gonna leave the stuff that I did watch an episode of, so that way I can just talk my shit, but I am gonna get rid of the things that I just, didn't watch at all. And yeah, this leaves us with 14 anime and, wait, no, sorry, 28. And this doesn't include Vinland Saga. I'm not putting Vinland Saga on this. It's not a spring anime. If I had to put Vinland Saga somewhere, it's gonna go on the S tier. Obviously, it was amazing. But I'm not gonna include it in this because it's technically not from this season. All right, so this is the things that I didn't watch, okay? Now, Dr. Stone, I would have watched, but I read all of it. So like, I'm not going to watch it. I imagine that if I did put it somewhere, it's probably at least an A tier. No, at least a B tier, probably an A tier though. What else here? This is another one I would have watched, the Otaku Elf. Honestly, looked pretty decent. I just, there's only so many things I can do. 2Q Crisis, another one that I would have watched. And finally, this is the Maid Cafe Terrace, I'm pretty sure. That's the last one I maybe would have watched. Everything else here, I just wouldn't have watched. I hear this one's pretty good as well. And everyone tells me to watch this. But all these other things, they had absolutely no shot. They never did. And even these, I'm probably never going to watch them. I mean, maybe one of these. If the day comes when a second season comes, I don't know. But moving on, I think that we will start with Kubo because Kubo didn't even come out this season. It came out it came out in winter. It came out 6 months prior, all the way in January, 6 months prior to me completing it. I'm gonna say Kubo was a solid B tier anime. It was not exceptional. It was not amazing. In fact, it's a low B tier. It was cute. I like the voice acting. I like how cute it is. The concept for it made it cute. It is cute, and it was cute anime, but it wasn't like anything crazy. There's a world where I could put this in a high C. It's not spectacular in any way. It's just cute. And you know what? We should actually go through the things that I dropped like this. This was trash. It was just not good. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Magical Destroyers, I got 6 episodes into it, and the last like 4-5 episodes out of that 6, it just was continuing to be like almost a chore to watch, especially the last like 2 or 3. I didn't care anymore. First episode, very interesting. OP, very interesting. Everything else about it was just not. And so, yeah, I think it was trash. It was not good. In fact, okay, maybe trash might be a little bit of a reach. Let's create a row below this that we will call the D tier, right? Let's call this the D tier, okay? This is a D tier. Not necessarily trash. I don't know if I want to call it trash. This right here, this was trash. I watched 1 episode and then knew that I didn't want to watch anymore. It felt like it needed it wasn't interesting really. And there was one funny moment where I think he kicked the girl's ass or he slapped the girl's ass, some shit like that. And then she was like, oh, I know that's him. And that's kind of funny. And that was the only moment that was kind of funny. Everything else was just like, I don't care. I just did not care. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was trash. I don't care. Next up, let's talk about Blue Orchestra, which is still going on. And it's intriguing. It's got a lot of great elements. It's a higher B tier than Kubo. It's not necessarily an A tier. One thing that holds it back massively is just the most hype moments are kind of ugly. Because the most hype moments are the music moments where you've got a fucking violin 1v1 and it is just the most the CG is so ugly. And so it kind of ruins the moment. But there's a good story there. There's a lot of growth there for characters. And so, yeah, it deserves some love, but man, can it be rough. It can really be rough. Next up, we've got A Galaxy Next Door. A Galaxy Next Door was pretty good, but I don't think it was really all that great. I think it was maybe around the same level as Kubo. Better, worse, can't really tell you. It's like right on the same level. I'll put it below, but it wasn't, you know, I don't know if it was below, it's like barely below, 1 point below. It was good. It just wasn't amazing. It's a B tier, and maybe my B tiers should be C tiers. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna move these to C tier. I've kind of talked myself into it. I think this is a low B, higher bar than Kubo. Again, Kubo, what's the story? It's a slice of life romance. He's invisible. She can see him. That's it. That's the entire story. That's everything. They're getting closer together because it's a cute romance. That's it. There's an actual story with this one, with actual character growth. I mean, there's some character growth for Shiraishi and stuff, like as he's kind of been the guy that's never been seen and he's starting to be seen, and it's kind of building some confidence and stuff for him. Yes, but there's so many more characters in this that are like growing, and you see growth with them, and the violin, they're getting better at it, and there's the orchestra aspect. I'd like the main character, Aono, I want to say his name is, goes from peak solo prodigy for violin to never playing violin anymore, to coming back, joining orchestra, which is massively different from solo. It's just so interesting, and the different characters definitely deserves to be in B tier. But again, going back to Galaxy Next Door, it's just, I don't know. It's a C tier. And this is gonna be a really hot take that a lot of people are gonna hate me for, but Tony Cobb was a low B tier. For me, if you want to give me a romance, it's got to be full of drama, something super intriguing is going on with it, or it's got to be really funny. Tony Cobb doesn't have that for me. It just isn't super funny. It's not really intriguing. It's not full of drama. It's a low B. It just doesn't stand out to me. And this list is, I'm realizing now, is people are not gonna love it. They're not. Oh, you know what? Let's save it a little bit. Oshinoko, S tier. Oshinoko is peak. It was amazing. Everything about it, seeing it, like the way that it portrays the entertainment industry was so interesting to me, showing you a lot of things that you're just not really gonna see, and talking about dark secrets, underbelly type of stuff. Yeah, man, Oshinoko's first season was just so good. I need more already because it was animated so well. The voice acting was done so well. The story, the connections between characters, the growth of characters, not a ton of growth. I would say the most growth for characters in it was Akane and Kana. And I'd say Aqua's kind of like a backwards growth. Like, I feel like he's sliding, going just down to a dark place, you know? It's not good. It's very not good. Next up, let's talk about maybe the best isekai of the season. Yeah. Yes. It's a reverse isekai. Dead Mount Deathplay, A tier. It was really enjoyable. Through and through, I loved it. In fact, I would say that earlier on, it was B tier. But those last like 3-4 episodes of the season or something like that, wow, it just got so much more intriguing. And season 2 is probably going to be even better. Season 2, I wouldn't even be surprised if I put it in an S tier. It's an A tier for me. Really enjoyable. Best isekai of the season. Honestly, not a ton of isekais. So let's talk about another isekai, and you're not going to love me for this. Kamikatsu, D tier. Over that one. I actually finished Kamikatsu. I couldn't even finish this one. It was boring. Kamikatsu is just D for down bad. It's literally just like just a horny anime. And I don't think that there was anything really, there was definitely a plot there that was interesting. And I'm not talking about like plot. I mean like a real plot there that was interesting. It's just so many times it made me uncomfortable. And it's not my type of anime. Now, I should let you all know, please keep this in mind. This is my list. These are my opinions. Your opinions are different. They're not going to be the same. We are not the same person. Unless you are me. If you are me, then that's kind of, well, then I'm just watching my own video, I guess, because there's no way that you not being me is also me. So yeah, you're gonna have a different opinion on a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna have my opinion. Respect my opinion. I'll respect your opinion. Some of you might think Kamikatsu is an S tier, and that's okay. If that's where you want to put it, it's where you want to put it. I just disagree. Next up, probably the most popular anime of the season, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, also A tier. but I'm not gonna put it super high on the A tier because I've read Demon Slayer, and my favorite arcs are the season. It's just the season 2 arc, the movie and Uzui's arc, right? The Red Light District or Entertainment District arc, and then the train, the Infinite Train. What is it called? The Mugen Train. Mugen Train. Don't roast me in the comments. Mugen Train arc, right? I love those arcs. Those are some fucking good arcs. Those are S tier arcs. Those are S tier arcs. This one, you know, just not as good. I like Muichiro. I like Kanroji. I just don't think it was an S tier season. That's just my opinion. Okay, but this is an S tier. Heavenly Delusion. Man, Heavenly Delusion is good. I don't know what to tell you, but I love it. It is such a good series, a lot of depth. The world itself, very interesting, extremely. Great world building does wonders for a series. It does wonders for a series. It's like anything like fantastical, post-apocalyptic, whatever it is. You know, anything that's not like our world. If you can build a world to be super interesting, it's gonna draw me in. If it draws me in, I'm probably gonna like it. And if you see character growth and you add like thriller elements, you add like, whoa, wait, what do you mean? Plot twist type shit. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. It's the reason why the anime we're gonna talk about after this is rated so high, despite me literally hating the first episode. Finishing what I've got to say about Heavenly Delusion, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I know a lot of people were like, oh, no, I'm dropping it when they found out about a couple of things. I know like Kiruko, what, damn it, what is it? Haruki. Kiruki. Nope, Kiruko. Damn it. I don't remember. What is the name? Kiruko. Okay, so I was right. Some people didn't like the fact that Kiruko was like Haruki and how Haruki was like obsessed with Kiruko despite being the sister, blah, 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 blah. Whatever that is, like, yeah, it's weird. Anime's weird. Like, anime's weird. And then other things, obviously people didn't like the rape scene, which is very understandable. It might be a trigger warning, or it might be a trigger for people. And I'm not gonna blame you for that. But it's a post-apocalyptic world, and I'm gonna be real with you. People, I mean, we live in a world that has actual like regulations, laws, etc. And that shit happens often. I don't know the stats on it, but it happens. And then you're talking about a world where society's collapsed and like a person's able to start a new society. Robin is able to start a new society, and oh, surprise, surprise, he's a piece of shit, does something absolutely horrible and terrible. And then other people are like mad about the way that Kiruko handled it. And like, you can't say like, oh no, that's not what you do in that, you're not allowed to act that way in that situation. It has to be like this. When like, you can't put yourself in somebody else's shoes and say that they have to be wearing your fucking shoes. They're their shoes. You are in your shoes. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they are who they are. They might act in a way that's very weird or peculiar, obscure. GU. That's just who they are. And so the way that Kiruko acts in that moment and during that whole thing and quickly getting over it, whatever, maybe that's just how she acts in it. I don't know what to tell you, but I think it's pretty fucked up to just be like, oh, no, you're not allowed to act like that, okay? This horrible thing happened to you, you have to be traumatized forever now. And like, maybe they are just compartmentalizing. Like, that's a real thing too. No one said that they have to be dealing with it in a healthy way. I'm spending too much time talking about it. It's a really great fucking series, okay? Now let's talk about the other one with the plot twists, the thriller elements. That first episode, terrible. I was like really gonna drop it. I thought the pacing on it was absolutely disgusting. It was clunky. I did not like it, but by the end of it, B tier. My home hero. Not even animated well. It's not even animated well. There's so many things that I could say bad about it, but regardless of everything that is bad about it, there's so much good to it. It's really interesting. I love how Tetsuo, how he just is a wealth of these murder thriller type of knowledge, because he like writes this stuff, he reads this, like he just consumes so much of it. He knows how to deal with the murder, how to cover up a body, blah, 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 blah. It's just so intriguing. I love that aspect of it. I love that, like, no matter what he does, there's always another thing that kind of fucks him. And even by the end of it, he's like, motherfuckers kill people. Like, it's like, damn, dude. It's just really good. All for like a daughter who almost doesn't even like give a shit. It's like, damn, dude. But when you're a parent, right? I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I can't really speak on that too much, but it was good. I enjoyed it. B tier. And next up, we've got Hell's Paradise, which, come on, let's be real. A tier. Honestly, I don't think it was an S tier. I think that it's I don't know what it is about it, but it just feels like it lacks something. I don't know if it's a pace thing. I don't know if it's like a cheapness. One thing I can appreciate in it is I genuinely never knew if somebody was gonna make it through the series. So many people died that I was just like, holy, I did not oh, what, him? That person too? It just was very unexpected. Some people died that I did not expect to die. The way that the fights, some of the fights were dope, but then there were also parts of fights that were like, okay, well, okay. I think that a big reason why it just fell, not flat, but it just didn't hit as much as like you'd hope is probably because MAPPA's working on so much shit. I feel like the adaptation was probably less prioritized, and as a result, it just did not slap like I wanted to. It did not slap like its OP, which was a absolute banger. Probably my favorite of the season. Top 3 of the season. Absolute fire OP. But the show itself, it just feels like it's missing something. Or, you know, and I think that maybe what it is just the pace. One thing that I hated was the guys literally explaining Tao to them like, oh, they'll never understand it. It took us forever to do it. And then boom, they understand it. It's like, you killed yourselves. You literally killed yourselves by telling these guys how to do the Tao, and then they fucking were able to do it. I don't know. That's just one thing that stands out. There are a bunch of things that stand out that are bad. There are a bunch of things that stand out that are good. Like, honestly, it's super intriguing the way that they ended it and the stuff about his wife. Like, what the fuck? Is that what it is? Like, if that's what it is, that's kind of crazy. And like the Tao flow and all of that. There's a lot of things very good about it. A tier, probably my highest of A tiers. I don't think I'm gonna put anything above it in A tier. Maybe there might be one above it. And that series that I might put above it in A tier is, actually there's a few that I might put above it. So let's start off with one of them that I'll put above it in A tier, and that is Gundam, Witch from Mercury. Really good. It was just a genuinely really good series. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It feels like it should have been another 6 episodes longer. Like instead of 12, it should have been like 18 episodes, but that's not really a common thing to do. So I feel like if season 2 was like 18 episodes, I think it would have been fire. At least like 3, maybe 4 more episodes longer. It would have just rounded it out so much better. The last couple of episodes felt like, oh fuck. Okay, we're at the end. Let's wrap it up. And that an anime should never feel like that, you know? So high A. But S, I just don't know if I could put it in S tier. Next up, we've got Rokudo's Bad Girls, which I think I finished, but honestly, wasn't that great. I'm gonna put it right here. It's a D tier. Just wasn't that great. I wasn't a big fan of the art. Wasn't a big fan of the whole show is, oh, Rokudo makes all the bad girls love him. And then that's it. But he loves this one bad girl and trying to make her be a good person. And I don't know, man. It just wasn't that good. I just did not fuck with the show to the level where I could put it over a D tier. I don't really have too much good things to say about it. It was good enough to finish, not good enough to watch again, not good enough to recommend. That's how I feel. So next up, we've got Insomniacs After School, which low-key, the latter half of it was so good. It was so good. And it's probably the one series I'm gonna struggle the most with when it comes to like, is it an A or an S? Because it's at least my highest A. It was genuinely that good. It deserves all the love, all the recognition, and I could totally put it as an S tier. Totally put it as an S tier. It was genuinely that good. Maybe I'll move it up by the end of this. Just the romance of it, getting to know the characters, getting to see their relationship build, the vibe of it, since it's very night-centric, the insomnia, where the insomnia stems from, the journey that Ganta goes on as he's like becoming a better photographer and starting to love the night sky more. Damn. It's just, you know what? It's S tier, man. It's so good. It was just such a good fucking series. It's just such a good series, man. I loved it so much. By the end of it, it deserves all the love. And a series that I thought was going to be a lot better just because of all the popularity, but it just didn't go as high as I thought, was My Love Story with Yamada. My Love Story with Yamada was really good. It's probably my lowest A tier, maybe even high B. I think by the end of it, it started to get a lot more interesting. The confession comes, all that stuff, and it's just so much better. But there was a bunch of episodes towards the middle of the series that were like, oh, is this going to go anywhere? You know, I don't know. That's how I felt watching it. Again, my opinion, so chill out. It just, you know, it just didn't, yeah, I'm gonna bring it down. High B, I think, high B. It just didn't really do it for me. It's good enough to watch a second season of, okay? It's like almost a pseudo in between A and B tier. I liked Yamada. I liked Akari. No, that's not her name. Akari. Oh, Akina. No, Akane. You know, it just didn't really jump out of the gym. It just didn't jump off the page. It just didn't jump out the screen at me. It just wasn't spectacular, but it was genuinely good. I did enjoy it a lot. Next up, Ancient Magus Bride. Heavily slept on series. Now I'm gonna say that I think the first part of this new season probably not as good as the second part. When we get to the second part, it's probably gonna be a high A, maybe even S tier. I'm saying low A right now because there's a lot to be desired of a series that is very slow and like world buildy without having big fight moments or big romance moments, or, you know, if I rewatched it, I'd probably put it higher, but this is where I'm gonna have it right now. It's a really great fantasy series, and honestly, I'd say that's a better fantasy series than something like Demon Slayer. It's a better fantasy series than anything here. That's not fantasy. I don't know how good this one is off of one season, but maybe the second will be better. But the world that it built is just so phenomenal. I really enjoy it. I love seeing Chise grow. I love seeing all the characters around her grow. We got introduced to a lot more characters. Actually, yeah, if it had more action, I'd raise it higher. It just doesn't. It just doesn't have a ton of action or a ton of romance. So this is where I'm gonna leave it, bottom A. It's a really good series. Highly recommend. If you're okay with a series that isn't just like non-stop momentum, oh my God. If you're okay with something a little slower, that's more dialogue driven, more exposition, building out the world, highly recommend. Next up, we've got Mashle. Mashle was a ton of fun, and lower A. It's probably gonna be my lowest A tier, I think, because it's funny and it's a comedy, and that's the goal, right? The goal is for it to be a comedy. There's nothing spectacular about Mashle. It's meant to be funny and it's meant to be fun, and there's supposed to be some hype ass moments. And I really enjoyed it. I love Mashle. I read Mashle. I'm like 100 chapters into Mashle. I heard that it's supposed to be finishing, or maybe already finished, something like that. I might just finish reading it and just, yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know. Haven't really decided. But it is really good, deserving of A tier. I could see somebody putting it like in a B tier. I don't see anybody putting it in a C tier. That wouldn't make sense to me. But again, my list, your list could be different. Next up, let's talk about another disappointment. Cheat Skill. Cheat Skill, I will put... I'm gonna put it below Kamikatsu. Kamikatsu has a lot of interesting things that could make it an intriguing series, right? The interesting things that Cheat Skill has to make it like an intriguing series is like, oh, so there's like good and bad gods, kind of, essentially. I'm gonna explain it in a very dumbed down way. There's like good and bad gods, kind of, and that's an intriguing element. Our boy's super OP, and he can go between the real world and the fantasy world and then take people with him. And that's all really interesting. That's it. A lot of the show is just generic, not very great. It's not something I would recommend to anybody. And admittedly, that the episode 11 and 12, not good. They just weren't good. Just back. When 11 aired and it was literally just backgrounds the entire, oh no, wait. 12 and 13. When 12 aired and it was just backgrounds the entire time, that was embarrassing. It was fucking embarrassing. Not a good series. Don't recommend. Next up, the legendary hero is dead. A little less horny than Kamikatsu. I'm gonna put it low C tier. I didn't enjoy it all too much, and actually, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think that this story is even as interesting as Kamikatsu's is. I don't think so. What does it do better than Kamikatsu? Kamikatsu made me more uncomfortable, and I think that for that reason, it kind of puts legendary hero and Kamikatsu on the same level, just because one is more intriguing, but it makes me more uncomfortable. The other one, less intriguing, makes me less uncomfortable, but still pretty enjoyable. I don't think it was very good. Legendary, actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna move legendary hero instead. We're gonna put it here. Yeah, D tier. What did I give it? I probably gave it a 6, I wanna say. Or maybe even a 5, I don't know. Not good. My personal opinion, not very good. It seemed very generic. You know, I just didn't really care, to be honest. It wasn't a big thing for me, so I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Konosuba Megumin, right? Konosuba Explosion was a lot of fun. And I'm torn between like a low B, high C. I think I'm gonna put it here. Low B. I'm gonna put it high C, and I think that the reason why I'm saying high C over like a high B or maybe even an A tier is because I don't remember the original Konosuba. My memory is shit. I haven't seen Konosuba in like 3 years, and I should rewatch it, and I will rewatch it before season 3 begins, because I had a point in time in one of my reactions where I just thought about what I could remember from Konosuba, and it wasn't much. In fact, what was the one girl, the one lady, Wiz? I don't even remember that character. So many characters popped up, I don't even remember them at all from Konosuba. And so it's like, if I don't even remember these like side characters, I don't remember the show. I genuinely don't. I kind of remember Megumi's personality. Megumin's personality. I kind of remember Aqua's personality, Darkness's personality, Kazuma's personality. That's it. I don't remember any of the things that occurred. I just don't. So it's gotta be something I rewatch. I never watched the movie either, so that'll probably be something I do as well. Next up, My Clueless First Friend. And that is maybe one of the surprising series of the season. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It is a high B tier for me. Is it over Yamada or under? And I would have to say it is under, just because they're in fucking elementary school. That's it. If they weren't in elementary school, I don't think I would have it under. But because they're in elementary school, it's like, all right, I don't know. But I love the characters in it. It was really cute, wholesome. I love seeing how everyone starts to grow a little more close to Shinomiya, and just everything. Oh man, it is really wholesome and cute. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm putting it at top of the B tier. It's really good, man. It's just really good. I loved it. And I don't really have much to say about it beyond that. That's what I think. So next up, Ray Liana at the Duke's Mansion. You're not gonna love it, but it's also B tier. Top of the B tier, but B tier. I don't know. There's some intriguing stuff to it, but how do I describe why I want to put it at a B tier? By the way, I should say B tier is not bad. Even C tier is not bad. D tier and down, in my opinion, kind of bad. C tier is like these were solid. In fact, I would say they're even pretty good. B tier is like, yeah, they were actually good, and I would recommend them to people. A tier is like, these are really good, really, really good, and I am recommending them to people, and you should watch them. S tier is like, if you haven't watched these, and you're just making a massive mistake because they're so amazing. That's kind of like the way I see it. So Ray Liana, it is good, and I do recommend it. It is also an isekai. Kind of has that otome feel to it, but it's just so much more interesting. There's a whole like political element to it. There's the fact that people are trying to kill her. And then there's this mystery villain in the show. The relationship she has with Noah as that continues to grow. The bonds she forms with other people. The enemies she gets. It's a really good show. I really enjoyed it. B tier. Top of the B. In fact, it will stay top of the B. And in fact, everything from B down is going to stay the way it is, because the last two shows are higher than B tiers. One is Skip and Loafer. And Skip and Loafer was just overall a really, really good show. It is way more slice of life, not really romance, just slice of life, school life type of show, and just so enjoyable. There's some drama to it all, characters that you get so mad at, characters you love, characters you hate. Main character, maybe my favorite main character of the season. That's a stretch. There's so many great main characters this season, but she deserves some sort of like something. She deserves recognition as one of the best main characters of the season. She's wholesome, kind, and impossible to root against. And she just makes the whole show. The bond she forms with Shima, also great. I loved it. I love the show. And so I'm gonna say Skip and Loafer, A tier. A tier right here. Here. Yes. A tier right here. It's in my top 7 anime for the season. You know, I don't think it's in my top 5. In fact, my top 5 changed when Insomniacs ended and fucking peaked. It was so good. I think I used to have Hell's Paradise in my top 5 and I kicked it out. Yeah. My #1 favorite anime of the season. Danger's in My Heart. I loved it, bro. I don't know what to tell you, dude. I loved it so much. It was just so enjoyable. I absolutely loved it. They were so fucking cute, wholesome, funny, dude. Absolutely hilarious. I've laughed more with that anime than anything else this season. I laughed more with that anime than anything else this year. Actually, that might be a reach, but also maybe not. It might not be a reach. I don't know if I would say it's a reach. It was just that funny and that enjoyable, and also so cringe. So cringe, but so good, dude. Oh man, it was just amazing. Peaks in my heart. Danger's in my peak, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It was so deserving of an S tier. This is the way that I'm gonna have my list. This is how I feel. Again, if Vinland Saga was on this, Vinland Saga would be here, okay? It would be at the very top. It was fucking amazing. But I'm not counting Vinland Saga because it is a spring anime. And listen, it was the best anime of spring. It's the best anime of the year at the moment, in my opinion. I know a lot of Oshinoko fans aren't gonna agree. That's okay. I don't care. And this is my list. This is the way it looks, you know? What would you do if you were doing the list? What do you think? What do you think is the most blasphemous thing I did here? I'm sure that a lot of people are gonna probably consider one of these being all the way down here to be the most blasphemous, maybe Konosuba. That's probably the most blasphemous drop, one of these two, I would say. That's what people will think. Or maybe not putting Gundam in S tier, not putting Demon Slayer in S tier, not putting anything in A tier into S tier, whatever. Or maybe putting Danger's in My Heart so high. I don't care. My list, your list is different. Let me know what you would have done. What was your top 5 of the season? As you can see, my top 5 are these 5 here, okay? Danger's in My Heart, Oshinoko, Heavenly Delusion, Insomniacs After School, and Gundam The Witch from Mercury. Those are my top 5 of the season. What was your top 5? What was your top 10? You can see my top 10 with the next 5 after being Hell's Paradise, Skip and Loafer, Dead Mount Deathplay, Demon Slayer, and Ancient Magus Bride. Okay, let me know your top 5. Let me know your top 10. How would you rank these anime? And what are you looking forward to most for a new season of? I know we've got another season of Danger's in My Heart coming next year. I'm pretty sure we have another season of Oshinoko coming next year. And I hope we get more seasons of more of these great series in the coming years. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, then like the video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss another one. Until next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.